All right. We are back here with Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. What is today? Thursday. For those of you who are thirsty, it is Thursday, brought to you by our sponsors. Whatever you're drinking, it's because you're thirsty. All right. We had a little bit of Sparks yesterday. What do you guys think of Cool Places? That was fun. What are we talking about today? You already know because you saw the title, buddy, because you clicked on it, at least for just a second. But we've watched a couple of documentaries in my house, my wife Sara and I. We've watched two music documentaries in the last week. We're going to talk about one of them, and I'm going to try to get to the other one at some point. Just so you know, I don't know how many Song of the Days we're going to have this week. We're not 7 for 7, obviously, but we're going to do the best I can. But for this one, we're talking about the band Led Zeppelin. We've covered Led Zeppelin a lot here in the cave, every one of their albums over the last 6 seasons. But we're going to revisit for just a little bit because I finally got to see Becoming Led Zeppelin. Some of you saw this in theaters, and some of you have probably watched it already. And spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about it. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know about it, then you just got to turn this off. But spoiler alert, Becoming Led Zeppelin, they become Led Zeppelin. Don't tell anyone. But that's an important part of this story. I will get to that later. But watching this just reminded me of just how good they were. Big Led Zeppelin fan. Late Led Zeppelin fan. I mean, I grew up. I didn't start listening to Led Zeppelin until 1984 or so. Yeah, 84, I think, when I was moved to Connecticut and everyone was into classic rock. And so it was the Rock Block weekend on WAQY where you'd hear 3 songs from an artist so that I would start to hear more Led Zeppelin. People were listening to it. So I was a casual fan. When I got to college, I knew a handful, like the ones you needed to know as far as a handful are concerned. I had a fraternity brother that was like huge into Led Zeppelin, had all their records, all their CDs, everything. And I was kind of like, I mean, I like it, but I don't get it. But anyway, I wouldn't become a huge fan until a lot later, after college. And then when I started working at Music Outlet, a record store, is really when I came around. And I came around big, huge fan. All right, but what do we learn from this documentary? All right, so Led Zeppelin formed in London in 1968. We're going to go backwards from there. Jimmy Page in 1966. Joins the Yardbirds with Jeff Beck. Back up that a little bit. We'll get back to that. We'll back up a little bit. Did session work for everybody. This is one of the things I was amazed at. He did session work for The Who. He did I Can't Explain. Was he on the final recording? It doesn't seem like it, but he did. He was in the sessions. The Kinks' first record, he did a couple on there. The Stones, Heart of Stone. Them. Baby, Please Don't Go. Baby, Please Don't Go. That's Van Morrison's band. Petulia Clark. Downtown. That's him. How about this one? Donovan, Sunshine, Superman. What? I almost fell off the couch. He was in there for sessions. Oh my gosh. Anyway, and he just goes on and on and on. He says, someone asked him, he said, well, how many records are you on anyway? And he's like, I have no idea. I was doing 15 sessions a week. I was doing I was just going in and out of studios doing songs with people, doing it for film, doing this or that. He's like, I don't remember what I did for who and what ended up where. And that's how session work works. Sometimes you ended up on the record and you just didn't get credit. Other times you're listed there. Or at least if they know after the fact that was you. It's crazy. There's a lot of bootleg stuff that was released that he was on, but amazing. Anyway, Yardbirds, they're doing songs. They're doing blues songs, rock, They're doing Train Kept A-Rollin', blues song, later made famous by Aerosmith. But they're doing that. They're doing Dazed and Confused, by the way. Yardbirds were doing that. And I'm Losing You was a song they did that would later become Tangerine when they were in Led Zeppelin. They reworked it. So the Yardbirds break up. They still have commitments in Scandinavia. So Page gets the bass player and gets Robert Plant to join, and they use the name, became the New Yardbirds in a very Spinal Tap way, the New Yardbirds, till 1970, eventually getting sued, I think, to lose the name. So they come up with Led Zeppelin, but they were playing as New Yardbirds. And then their first show as Led Zeppelin, I think, was October of 1968. A month before I was born. But the way the story goes is they get together, they're playing this music, and then John Bonham gets on drums. And he's the one, like John Bonham is the one that like they were all just like, what the hell with this guy? He's unreal. He's unbelievable. And they were like in awe of his talents. He would be playing drums, rehearsing places at festivals and concerts, and drummers would stop and go. They'd be like, what am I hearing? And they'd go and watch him. Famous drummers. They were like, what is that guy doing? That's what I love about this story, is that the band centered around John Bonham and his abilities. And when you watch the documentary, you see him playing. If you haven't seen him live, you can see why. It's just insane. And you don't really think much. You don't think a lot about how the drummer is the one that can be like, that's what's going to make us big. And that's exactly what this was. They managed to put out their first album, not like pretty quickly. January of 1969, it's released. They're on tour. They just toured all the time. United States, back to the UK, United States, all over, small venues, clubs. While they're doing that, they record a second album. Led Zeppelin 2 comes out in October of 69, goes to number 1. The first record goes to number 10. The second one goes to number 1 in the UK and the US. And by 1970, they're playing Royal Albert Hall. It's the trajectory is huge and fast. And those first 2 records are insane. Led Zeppelin 1, 36 hours of total studio time to record. Good time, bad time. Good times, bad times. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. A lot of these blues songs. You Shook Me. Dazed and Confused from the Yardbirds, from another person before that. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Communication Breakdown. Unbelievable song. I Can't Quit You, Baby. How Many More Times? How many more times? I didn't hear that song until I bought this DVD. Live Led Zeppelin. This might have been in like the late 90s, early 2000s. But I have this, and I watched this, and this is what helped me become a Led Zeppelin fanatic. So you guys can pull this up sometime and watch this too. But this has a bunch of stuff from Dutch television early on of them playing a lot of these songs, Dazed and Confused. But how many more times? There's just these teenagers, it's in black and white, teenagers sitting around in a circle, and they're sitting on the ground watching them play. Like they're at a, I don't know, like a reading from mystery reader from grade school. It's amazing. You got to watch it. But this also has that 1970 show at Royal Albert Hall. So there you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Led Zeppelin 2, again, number 1, US, UK, Grammy nomination, 12 million records sold, a whole lot of love, What Is and What Should Never Be, Lemon Song, Thank You, Heartbreaker, Living Loving Maid, Ramble On, Moby Dick, and Bring It On Home. And you always have to do those 2 together, of course. Heartbreaker and Living Loving Maid. Anyway, the giveaway is that the documentary, because we were watching it and there was only 20 minutes left after watching all this stuff, and I was like, how are they going to cover the rest of their career in 20 minutes? They're only on Led Zeppelin 2. They don't. It's Becoming Led Zeppelin. It ends after Led Zeppelin 2. Leaves you wanting more. And what I'm reading is the stuff that happens later on between the drug use and John Bonham's death and all the sensitive stuff. They may not be wanting to talk about it. I don't know, but I'm still interested in all that stuff, so it'd be nice to see that. But the footage they have in the interviews are fabulous. It's a great documentary. We're at 10 minutes. Your song of the day is Good Times, Bad Times. I think that's the first song that opens up with the documentary, and that's the one that you're just like, oh yeah, this is freaking great. Amazing. I mean, how many, you could choose a lot of these songs, but Good Times, Bad Times, song of the day, Led Zeppelin. Watch the documentary, dig out some of that black and white footage, enjoy it today. And I'm not sure what we're going to do for song of the day. I'm going to try to get some episodes in this weekend. We'll see. We'll definitely have a few next week too. So whatever you're doing, I hope it involves music. Today involves Led Zeppelin. And as usual, catch you on the flip side.